Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Anthony, your host and content creator, and this is Aquascaping on the Fly, Living Art Creations. Now, as you can tell, if you've watched any of my videos, I normally don't stand right here, but today we got something very special, and I'm very excited to announce that we are starting our first series of tanks. Now, this is going to be 3 tanks in one. I'm calling the series the Trinity series because there are 3 tanks, but they're going to have one cohesive theme. So let's get right into what I've done so far. This is what I would call an art install. We're not just talking about the one aquascape here. We're talking about also having houseplants growing out of the tanks and hopefully vining up onto the limbs I've placed up here. Lighting, as far as lighting goes, we're using the same lighting that's here, here, and here. So one nice consistent theme all the way through for your lighting. But one of the things I want to talk about in this lighting specifically is this is my 3rd set of this I've bought, and I've got it on Amazon. I'll put a screenshot in there for you. But it is these one little strips. It comes with 6 light strips. They're full spectrum. They have 4 settings as far as lighting control, and then they have 3 timer settings. It's an inline timer, meaning you don't have to have a separate timer, and it's not some bulky timer that plugs into your outlet. It's just a little streamlined little timer that you can just push the button on. What I love about it is it costs $45 for the entire set that I'm purchasing. You can get a smaller set if you want, but I like the versatility of being able to add and take away from and play with it. I like this so much that I put it on the fireplace under the mantle to shine down on the terrariums that I got at the base of the fireplace because it just has a great look and the plants seem to love it. But I like the fact that it's consistent, and when we're talking about the install here, I didn't want to have lighting hovering above, so I didn't go with a typical aquarium light because I want my plants to be able to put, I want to be able to put them wherever I want. I want them to go straight up, so I didn't want a light to be in the way. Now, yes, I am keeping the rims on all of these, and for two very important reasons. Number one, this shelf here is heavy and it's bolted all the way through it, so I have bolts that are underneath these tanks, and I needed the height to be allowed for the tanks to sit there and not be in the way of the bolts that are sitting up there. So I needed the bottom piece on there. The top piece I'm using for 2 reasons. Number one, it's holding these light strips on there. And you can see, like right here, they're just actually tacked on there. They're not attached at all. It's just tacked on. And then also for the tank on this side, the rim lid is actually holding this branch in by tension between here and this point right here. So there's no reason for me to have to like glue anything in there structure-wise unless it comes down to like a plant that we're going to put in there. But I'm using the top and the bottom just for very specific reasons. I know a lot of purists out there would not want to use this, but I find it's an advantage for me. Also, let's talk about budget. So you know on my channel, if you've watched any of my terrarium builds or the things that I'm growing, like I'm growing as many of my plants as possible, especially even my aquarium plants, it's all about budget. It's DIY. What can we scour out in nature that will help us save money on cost? And then what can we get for the down low cheap? So that being said, these 10 gallons cost me $15 at PetSmart because I got them 50% off. So I snacked these up at the $15 price. Right now, the lighting is $7.50 per tank. Now, I am probably going to add a second light strip to the backside at the base, which will bring it up to $15. But still, at $15, it's very inexpensive for an aquarium light. I plan on, even though the wall has got basically a white background, I'm going to put the white opaque on the backs of each one of these tanks because I don't want you to be able to see the wiring behind it. But for a second, more important reason, I want to be able to put one of these light strips at the base shining out to where it will hopefully create a glow inside the tank and kind of highlight the background feature of it so that no matter what plantings we have in it, they'll kind of like pop. Another thing for the builds, I'm going to use aqua soil, and I've purchased those bags, and they cost like $11 for me here in North America. And eventually, the livestock we'll have in here will be snails and shrimp. I do not know if I want to put fish in. I know I want shrimp though, because I'm just kind of like really into shrimp right now and all the different colors they have. So that's where we're going to go so far. The budget, I want to max it out no higher than $100. And that includes everything. I mean, that's from where we start with the tanks, the lighting, the substrate, the plants, the shrimp, the snails. I don't want to go any higher than that because I want to show you guys that when you want to delve into this hobby, which can get quite expensive, there are ways where you can save money to not skimp on your design. Because I am doing exactly what I want to do in these tanks. I'm not bringing it down because of the budget. I am trying to elevate it because of the budget. So I'm trying to show you just the opposite of what you might see on some other channels where they're able to put a plethora of plants in there, and you know the plants alone are costing $100. But I want to show you what we can do on the down low on this one. So that being said, everything on the interior, that's the rock and the hardscape wood, all have been collected in nature, on my nature walks. The rocks especially, I'll collect anywhere I can find them. I know where a couple of landscape companies put all their trash before they take it out. And that's a great resource for me. Drainage ditches are a great source for me, and then my nature walks. So let's get into what I found and also placement right now, because the point of this video today is that I want to get your guys' feedback on did I achieve balance and cohesion between all three tanks. And let's introduce the tanks by their name. So the first one here is the centerpiece. And this one is a piece of driftwood I found on my very first nature walk. It was in a campfire, and I pulled it out. I knew exactly what it was when I picked it up. To me, it looks like a turtle. So I'm calling this one Turtle in Motion. Turtle for me, a sea turtle, is a very, it brings back a very specific memory I had. As a flight attendant, I'm on layovers. I was in Barbados one evening, and sea turtles were hatching, but they were going towards the hotel and not to the ocean because the hotel lights were very, very bright. And so I helped rescue sea turtles and place them in the ocean. So to me, it was a life-changing event. I mean, I just loved it. So for me, this was a no-brainer. And I found the rock like 2 days later alongside the road, and just glued it on it. Now, this tank itself, I can't do much else with the placement because turtle is so big. I wanted a little more angular here, but I only have about an inch. And I don't want this peak not to be seen. I think it's going to have to stay kind of just like this. As far as the rock placement, this is the only thing that was a non-negotiable. I had to have something to attach it to. And this was the best piece that I could find. So the other rocks have all been collected all over the United States. I can tell you that honestly now. So let's go to the tank on this side, which will be to the left. This is prayer hands. And I know you all know what I'm talking about. That little statue that goes like this. So to me, this is prayer hands, but the hands are broken off. So this is after time has elapsed. And I played around with this a lot. This actually was the hardest one to place because we knew I had this one going in this direction and it was going to be the centerpiece. This here has beautiful curvature, but only from this view. So like there's a great piece here that curves in, curves back out, and goes back, has a nice hollow opening in it, and then also the hollow opening for right here. I tried flipping it, it looked silly. I tried centering it, it looked silly. I tried putting it on this side and then the boulders on this side. Then that was just rock on rock and it just looked ridiculous. So I settled on this because I like this flow. Now, this one to me points to this one, which now points to this one. The point continues and it goes out. To me, that's very important because this branch here can't go there because of the branches up here. It gets in the way. So basically, because I built my own custom light fixture here out of logs, this is a balance for this side. This is a balance for this side. So to me, it does balance, and I love the way it flows. This tank here is called Bird on a Wire, and I hope you can see it immediately what I'm talking about. I mean, this looks like the bird, and those are tail feathers. Now, one thing I do want to do is when we're talking about the cohesion between all three tanks is plant choice. Now, I do want to put Java Fern on this side, and I want to have Java Fern in this tank, so they will balance each other out. There will be nothing in here but dwarf hairgrass, and that's very important for this channel because dwarf hairgrass, growing it, is my most popular video with just under 5,000 hits. Now, we're going to use the dwarf hairgrass that I've been growing since day one, and we're going to put it in here as our full carpet. So this is going to be, I don't want to say zen, but it's definitely going to be minimalist. And I'm thinking just a nice carpet. I'm not even sure if I want to put anything growing between the rocks. It may be more dwarf hairgrass. I really just want to focus on the one. Originally, I had thought about putting Vallisneria in here because I thought it would look beautiful flowing over the top and give you that depth. However, I really want to do simplicity for this tank. So that means that I might have to put a little dwarf hairgrass here for consistency here to here, and a little here for consistency here to here. And if you'll notice, I have left a nice little gap right here. This could be where my dwarf hairgrass grows right here. And I have a nice little rock here that could have some dwarf hairgrass around this to bring these together. So that's how I think the wood is speaking to each other in each tank. This one is coming up, this one comes down, this one goes back up. So I hope you see the curvature of that. Do I need to do it again really fast? I hope not. So I'm thinking the wood there. Now the one piece I haven't spoke about is my snake. I found that one just recently when I was out on one of my trails where I originally found Turtle in Motion. It's right down the street from me. And it washed up during one of our little spring floods. Has no bark on it. I love it. And I thought, oh, this could be amazing to attach plants to. So it's going to stay in there, I think. I've been looking at it for like a couple of weeks now, and every time I come in and look at it, I love it. But to me, it looks like a snake piercing its mouth out right there. So anyway, everything for me has a name. I can't help it. Now let's talk about the rocks, because the rocks have no less importance than everything else in here. So what we start with are these cool, large, round rocks. And they're all the same color family. That's all by accident because literally I may pick up one rock at a time. But I've done enough picking around town that I'm actually able to find rocks that match. Now we transition from this rock, which is the large ones, which to me kind of signifies that this log has been here and these rocks just piled up against it, and that's how we get our little stick that's up on top, because it would be the lightest thing and the easiest to just float straight down. Now it's held in tension because it's actually wider than this tank, but I wanted to make it look like it just kind of fell into place. So I hope that kind of comes off in the video. But then we transition to a smaller, different colored rock, which is a whiter rock, going into white, going into a pitted on the back side of this tank, where we go into here and all the rocks are pitted. Now the one thing we're going to do different here, we'll keep our elevation about the same here because I know I can't do much between these two, but I do want to try and mimic the arch for some of these rocks right here. Don't know how far I'll be able to carry that. I don't know if I have enough rock yet, but when I start putting in the aqua soil, then I'll kind of know. But I bought some of those media bags. And I thought, okay, if I peel those up first, build it up and see where I am with my rock structure. I may have to find some more rocks for this one though. But right now, that's the entire theme for the build. So specifically, those of you out there who are watching, let me know in a comment. I mean, you could do a thumbs up and then I'll just assume that you like what I've got. And you don't have to do a comment, just if you want to. But a comment is great for me because I love the feedback. If you have something you're like, have a question about, or how about this, or whatever, send me a comment about that. If you want to see more content, give me a subscription on it. Just subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, doesn't mean anything else. It just means that you like the content and you want to see more of it. Right now, because my channel is so new, the YouTube algorithm hasn't even found my audience yet. But the one nice thing is, I call it the trifecta. People that like a video, subscribe, and comment. Commenting is like the big thing for YouTube. That shows that the creator is actually engaging with his audience. So that means a lot to the algorithm.